Hello and namaste everyone. I have been asked by someone why 21st of June has been made a World Yoga Day. Is it a random pick or there is some logic behind it? So I'm here with the answer. As you are all aware, the 21st is the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year. So, however, to understand the entire concept, you need to have the idea behind relating the human geometry with the cosmic geometry. So, if you have the idea about Vastu Shastra or Feng Shui, you can get the depth of the concept which I'm talking about. It's something which we can relate with the secular phrase micro and macrocosm that has been derived from the Sanskrit aphorism यथा पिंडे तथा ब्रह्मांडे. अगर आप इसके बारे में जानते हैं तो आप इसको एक सूक्ष्म तरीके से, सटल तरीके से देख पाएंगे. जैसे मैंने कहा कि वास्तुशास्त्र का अगर आपको बोध होगा तो आप समझ सकेंगे कि नॉर्थ और उत्तर दिशा कौन सी है. आप चारों दिशाएं, आठों दिशाओं के बारे में, वैसे तो 10 हैं, लेकिन अभी आप 8 या 4 के बारे में समझ के चलिए. ये उत्तर दिशा, नॉर्थ डायरेक्शन के बारे में है. तो अगर हम देखें तो पिन में या ह्यूमन बॉडी में जो नॉर्थ डायरेक्शन है वो हेड है, ह्यूमन हेड, जिसमें सहस्त्रारा चक्र सिचुएटेड है. सो नॉर्थ डायरेक्शन, दैट मीन्स कि जो एनर्जी है और शक्ति जिसे बोलते हैं वो असेंड होके सहस्त्रारा चक्र में, हेड रीजन में पहुंचती है. दैट्स व्हाट इट इंडिकेट्स. अगर आपको मालूम है 5 एलिमेंट्स, अगर हम रूट चक्र की बात करें वो पृथ्वी है, राइट. उसके बाद जल, अग्नि, वायु, ईथर, so on and so forth. आप इन पांचों को, तत्व को ट्रांसेंड कर रहे हैं और पाइनियल ग्लैंड और सहस्त्रारा पे पहुंच रहे हैं. सबसे क्लोज होती है, सन जो है पृथ्वी के सबसे क्लोज है 21st of June को. As the earth is, sun is closest to the earth, so we can understand the movement which is happening from the earth is rising up to the Sahasrara chakra. It's something which indicates the closeness, whereas when it descends, we can understand, we can relate it with summer solar style, जो कि दक्षिणायन से है, दक्षिण, right? From where we get the concept of Dakshinamurti, right? If you are aware about the south direction and the north direction, I'll talk about it later. इसको और अच्छी तरह से जानने के लिए आपको आइडिया होना चाहिए कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ शिवाइन शक्ति का. There are 54 शक्तिपीठास, 54 शक्तिपीठ बताए हैं और 54 संस्कृत के लेटर्स हैं. 54 पॉइंट्स हैं ह्यूमन सिस्टम में, उनसे आप रिलेट करेंगे, राइट. आपकी जब एनर्जी पाइनियल ग्लैंड में पहुंच गई, थर्ड आई में या दिव्य चक्षु जिसे हम बोलते हैं, अगर वो आपके खुल गए, आप पूरी जो ह्यूमन ज्योमेट्री और कॉस्मिक ज्योमेट्री को रिलेट कर पाएंगे. ये सार है, राइट. ये फिजिकल आई नहीं है, ये एक सूक्ष्म है, सटल पार्ट है, जो कि आप रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस करते रहेंगे, सो उससे आपको इसका बोध हो पाएगा. इफ़ यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग इट continuously, you'll be able to get the subtle insight eventually if your practices are right. Now, having said that, let me put you in this way. The North Hemisphere and the South Hemisphere, right? This is supposed to be related with respect to the line of longitude on the Earth sphere and the celestial sphere, if you understand the concept. So that's something which can relate with the mysticism of the spine. जो मेरुदंड है, ह्यूमन स्पाइन है, उससे हम उसे रिलेट कर सकते हैं, राइट? सो अगर ये टू एंड फ्रो मूवमेंट हम देखें, असेंशन और डिसेंशन प्रोसेस, सो ये 54 + 54 कितना होगा? 108. सो ये मिस्टिकल नंबर है 108, जो हमें आइडिया देता है कि 108 बीट्स क्यों है रोजरी में, राइट? 108 रिपीटेशंस क्यों हैं मंत्रास में. लेकिन अगर ये देखें हम एसेंस इसका, सो ये महाविद्या का कॉन्सेप्ट है, जो कि बहुत ही सेटल है, बहुत ही सूक्ष्म है. एक माइन्यूस्क्यूल टाइम स्केल कैलकुलेशन है, विच इज़ नॉट वेरी वेल नोन बाय पीपल. वेरी फ्यू पीपल आर अवेयर ऑफ इट, एंड इट्स वी कैन रिलेट इट विद द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ दक्षिणामूर्ति. आई विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट इट लेटर. सो ये जो मोमेंट्स हैं असेंशन और डिसेंशन की 4 टाइम्स अगर हम करें, so that would give us a number 432, which is in line with the concept of yugas, right? So और अगर हम इसको आगे ऐड करें, if you are adding it further, बेस 10 नंबर वैल्यू सिस्टम से, तो वो आइडिया देता है, आई मीन से अगर आप चारों युगास को रिलेट करते हैं, सब उसको ऐड करते हैं, समेशन करते हैं, सो यू विल गेट द सेम फिगर. सो इट्स देयर आर 8 cycles, right? Ascension and descension, which gives you eventually 432. And 8 is something which relates us with infinity. I'll be talking about it later. Probably I have to make another video on that. So, because it's a huge concept which we won't be able to cover here. So, once you understand the mysticism behind the ascension and descension with respect to the particle physics, right? We are relating the micro and macrocosm. So this entire universe has energy, and the purest form of energy is sunlight. And so also we have the inner lamp, inner light. So that's what is supposed to be related. Jivatma with the Atma, right? So that's the entire concept of Atma Vidya or Paravidya, which has been mentioned in the Shastras. So ये तो हो गया आपको ascension और descension process का. इसमें हमें पता लग रहा है कि 432 कैसे आ रहा है, 864 कैसे आ रहा है. ये जो अलाइन है युगास की साइकिल से 1296 1728 इन्हें वर्ड एजेस भी बोलते हैं. सो ये जब इन आप चारों को ऐड करेंगे तो हमें दोबारा से नंबर आएगा 4320. सो एक ज़ीरो उसमें ऐड हो जाएगा, जिसे मैं बेस 10 नंबर से रिलेट कर रहा हूँ. हम शून्यता से रिलेट कर सकते हैं, राइट? सो ये चतुर्युगा हो गया. right? So अगर आप ज़ीरो पॉइंट एनर्जी फील्ड समझते हैं पार्टिकल फिजिक्स, सो आप इसको शून्यता से रिलेट कर सकते हैं. पार्टिकल फिजिक्स बात करती है इनफाइनाइट पार्टिकल्स जो कि हैं यूनिवर्स में, लेकिन हम सिर्फ नंबर्स 54 पर रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहे हैं. जस्ट आप जो मूवमेंट्स है अक्षरास की, लेटर्स की, उनकी swirling मूवमेंट आप से रिलेट कर सकते हैं, पार्टिकल्स को छोड़िए. So we are not talking about the particles. Let's make the things very simple, that you are supposed to understand the concept of 54 aksharas that are swirling, and that's supposed to be uttered and supposed to be understood in the rhythm, because the Sanskrit prosody are in the rhythm, and that's something which talks about the mystical science of yoga. So having said that, now I would like to make you understand, it gives the eyes insight about the concept of Nilakantha, which has been mentioned in the Shastras, in our ancient literature. So Nilakantha, in other words, if I have to say it, it gives the concept of time puzzle, what time puzzle is all about. There are 71 Manvantara or Chaturyuga that has been described, and in one Manvantar, and there are 14 Manvantar, right? So this gives us the idea about the concept of 14 lokas or 14 words which has been mentioned in the Shastras, right? So these 14 words are supposed to be understood with respect to the line of latitude, which we can relate with the concept of axis mundi, right? So if there are 7, I mean, if you take the center equator, so you understand there are 7 heavens above and 7 underworlds or neither words, talas, below the earth plane, right? So it makes 14 in total. So it's a wonderful thing which, or I would say philosophy, that's something which makes us attuned to the reality. Now, you got the idea, line of latitude and longitude. So how it is supposed to be perceived. If you have the idea about Vastu Shastra or Feng Shui, you can relate all these small, minute details. That's the beauty of the Vedic text, or the concept which has been mentioned in the Shastras. So you understand why the right hemisphere is high, why the left is low, and so you can relate with the right and left hemisphere of the human brain. If you know the anatomy, physiology, how it works, you can relate with the right and left iota, right? Think over it. So now, even the tilt, which is there, on which we have the rotation. The earth is tilted, and there are 3 dimensions to it. If you look at the earth and celestial sphere, so the first rotation gives us day and night. पहली रोटेशन पे आपकी जो अर्थ की एक्सिस पे हो रही है, वो हमें दिन और रात देती है, राइट? और उसको हम चार पहर हैं, राइट? So that's something which we can relate with pure mathematics, how the ellipsoid, because this whole entire universe is in the shape of ellipsoid. Remember I mentioned about Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande? So Brahmanda is in the shape of ellipsoid, and so is the human body. So both how we can relate it with the concept of light, science of light, how this ellipsoid would convert into circle, which we are relating with shunyata or 0-point energy field, right? Ascension and descension process. So that is the concept of a day. We park it separately. It's just a very wonderful and detailed topic which we can relate with Dakshinamurti. I'll be coming on that. And second is the rotation on which we have the Uttarayan and Dakshinayan, summer and winter solar cycle. That gives us the ascension and descension, right, of the energy, which we have related with 54 Shakti Pithas, right? The mysticism behind 54 numbers and 54 points in the human system. And let me put it in this way: if you cover the half circle, 54 padas of nakshatra, the 4 parts, one nakshatra is divided into 4 parts. There are 27 nakshatra. So in one phase, summer solar style, it covers 54 padas, 54 parts of nakshatra, and the other phase it covers 54. That makes 108 in total. Though we can relate it 112, there are 27 constellation and 28 constellation, Abhijit, and that's what the third dimension is all about. It's the third dimension is to and fro, right? It moves towards that star and comes down, to and fro movement. So that movement gives us the concept of ice age and post ice age. When the ice age is there, it's descension, the human consciousness downs, decreases, whereas when it's ascension, human consciousness increases, right? And that's what we can relate with the ascension and descension which is happening within. It's a churning of ocean. That's what mythology talks about, right? So and takes us to the time puzzle which I have mentioned. It's related with the Nilkantha, right? So it gives us the idea about the 14 manvantars, 14 lokas, right? And the concept of eventually it is supposed to be related with Shunyata. So let me put you in this way. When we are relating it with Shunyata, we should understand the concept of Dakshinamurti, what it is, right? There are 4 kind of sounds. Dakshinamurti is the south direction, right? Dakshin. So once one is Vaikari, the sound, this grouse sound which you hear normally, right? And second is Madhyama. It's where you have a vision. So we visualize something. It's just not that you have the idea now. We are relating it with the human system, human geometry with the cosmic geometry. So you are aligned with the border vision, right? Or the vision could be anything, XYZ. You are interested in your home. You are interested in your in the marketplace where you are, or where you would be later, right? So wherever you are moving, you are carrying your vision along with you, right? And Pashyanti is you have the vision and you have the ability to explain it. आपके पास एक विजन है और आप उसको एक्सप्लेन भी कर रहे हैं, जैसे हमने अभी यथा पिंडे तथा ब्रह्मांडे को रिलेट किया, right? The way we have related yatha pinde tatha brahmande. Okay, so this how you are explaining the vision of yours. So whatever you're talking about, either with your friend or your family members, this is the vision I have, or anyone you are close to, maybe a teacher, maybe a child, anybody. So you, or a child is telling it to you, right? So that's something which you are able to express. That's Pashyanti, in a layman terms I'm talking about. And finally is the para, that's the subtle or transcendental, which are mainly related with the calculations, right? So that is about silence, because it cannot be uttered. The only directions can be given by the people who has realized the self, or those who have knowledge about Atma Vidya. They cannot utter it too. That's what Dakshinamurti is all about. There is no sound. If you look, it's ascension and descension. It's the 0 point energy field. It's all ether. And if you see, there is no sound in the vacuum, right? If you understand the Bell-Jar experiment, what it is all about. So that's what it indicates, right? So it gives you the complete understanding about various aspects, but we probably will talk about it later, and maybe I have to make separate videos on different topics. I would get back to you, and I hope the things would have got clear. आप लोगों को समझ में आ गया होगा कि 21st of June क्यों है, right? Energy reserves, energy ऊपर जा रही है, शक्ति ऊपर जा रही है, and शक्ति नीचे. So that's supposed to be understood. What is this ascension and descension process, right? And we have related with 3 dimensions. I hope the things would have got clear. It was not aware, not well known with the people, most of the people. And if you still have a query, do let me know. Whenever there would be spare time, I'll come up with the answers. Namaste.